Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay, welcome. Today we are doing an interview with Carlitos Way, who is the author of a book called A Dolphin Miracle, which has yet to be published. So, everyone, welcome, Carlitos. Hi. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing good. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone. And thank you for coming to my interview. So go ahead, Sad. Do you have any question for me this morning?
Yeah,
How
of
everybody's
course.
doing? I hope everybody's fine. Go ahead.
Good, good. Yeah, of course. Excellent stuff. Well, I'm glad you're well. So that's good. Yeah. So today we're just going to be discussing a bit about your journey
Okay.
and including your near-death experience that you had, was it, I think, 5 years ago,
Yes.
in the ocean,
Yes.
and this book that you're currently writing, which is a lot to do with dolphins and
Yeah.
this kind of amazing thing that you've been through with this journey with dolphins. So, yeah, I'll just say a little bit about the bio that I took from your Facebook group that I'll actually put up right now if anyone's
Yes.
interested. So, it's yeah, that's it. So,
Thank you.
yeah, the book will explore Carlitos' real life story about his near death experience that happened 5 years ago. And it explains what he went through when he was dying and drowning in the ocean. And then his experience that he had in heaven and who he met there, what happened, and why. And why he was sent back to Earth with this new life purpose and how this experience literally changed his life forever. So
Hmm.
here we go. So Carlitos, some questions, if I
Okay.
if I may. So what's the most exciting thing that you've got that you're focused on right now?
Well, the most exciting thing that I'm focused right now is to finish my book. I've been trying to write it for the past 5 years, and it's been like mission impossible. But
Right.
because a lot of stuff, life happened. I have to work all the times. I was doing Spartan races. That's a off to off obstacle course race all the times on weekends.
Wow.
And yeah, I don't know if you know what's yeah. So I was doing a lot of stuff. Plus, I didn't have any notion to how to write a book. And
Sure.
the first people that I look to help me to write a book, the people that I pay some editors to do this, they just took advantage of me, and I didn't know, and I just lose a lot of money. So that's
Mm.
discouraged me a lot, and I feel really down. And I said, well, maybe nothing's gonna happen. Maybe I don't gonna write a book until a friend of mine invited me to his birthday party, and he's like, Carlos, you need to come here. And I have a year without seeing him. He called me. I go to his party, and when we're there, in the middle of the party, there was like 50 people. He said, Carlos, could you tell your story? Like what happened in your near death experience? I'm like, come on, dude, we're in a party. I mean, you want me to tell this in front of all these people? Everybody's enjoying dancing, and you want me to tell this story? Oh, please, that's my gift for my birthday. Okay. So I start telling my story to all these people that I don't know. And then everybody put it in a circle in the middle of the living room. I start telling my story. And when I finished my story, I noticed at the end of the room, there was a father, mother, and two kids. And this guy, who was like a 35 years old guy, father of the two kids, he started crying. And he called me and said, like, son, could you come here, please? So I go there. And he said, like, you don't know who I am, but your story touched my soul so much, and I want to invite you to a spiritual retreat, and you need to go there. I pay you to go there. And I said, like, no, sir, you don't need to pay me for nothing. I said, like, please, please, there is going to be 50 men in this retreat, and you need to be there. Have you ever been in a spiritual retreat? I said, like, no, I don't even know what spiritual retreat is. I said, okay, okay, don't worry. I'm going to fix everything, and I'm going to call you, and we're going to go on this trip. Make the story short, the day that we arrived to the spiritual retreat, we were in a scholar bus with 50 men, from the poorest man to the richest man, from the teenager to the 90 years old, from the suicidal guy to the guy that had cancer. I mean, all kind of people, like you can imagine, went to this spiritual retreat. And I want to escape. I was like, what I'm doing with all these people that I don't know here? I just want to call Uber or Lyft and get out of here. Anyways, they opened the door in front of the spiritual retreat center, and they say, "Okay, everybody, we need your cellular phones, and we need your watches. We're gonna take everything right here, and you're gonna have communication with nobody for the next 3 days.
Nice.
So they take my phone, they take everything from me, and for the next 3 days, I was completely isolated from the world. I didn't know anything. But what made the story interesting, one day before he finished the spiritual retreat, the pastor said, everybody is going to ask a question uh, to the universe, to God. And so he grabbed a Bible and he said, put your hands on the top of my Bible and ask whatever question you have, and tomorrow you will have the answer. And inside of me, I was like, this is BS. I don't believe this. Like, why is he doing this? Anyways, when it's my turn, I put my hands on the Bible, and the pastor said, okay, Carlos, what do you want to ask? I said, like, I just want to know if I should write this book. And the pastor said, oh, okay. Well, ask. Okay, God, I just want to know if I'm supposed to write this book or not. So next day comes, they send us to a huge room. They have 50 chairs. All the chairs are everywhere. And the pastor said, okay, by the front door of this room, I want everybody to get inside of the room. There are 50 chairs. On the top of every chair, there's a manila envelope. You're going to put the manila envelope in your legs and sit down. So everybody went inside of the room, put the manila envelope on their legs. And then he said, okay, I want everybody to start passing the manila envelope left and right, back and forth for 30 seconds. I'm going to start now. 30, 29, 28. And he continued until one. Stop. So everybody stopped with one envelope. That was completely different than when you started, right? Because you weren't passing it along. So the pastor said, that's the answer of your question from yesterday. And you want to see what was the answer? The pastor said, well, I just did that so you know that it's a higher universe, God, that's controlling everything, and we don't interfere with that. That's why we pass all the envelopes along. And whatever you have in your hands is the answer. And I have the answer right here. I'm going to show you right now. It was a painting made for kids from elementary school. I'm going to show you. I remember my question. Should I make this book? Is this book is going to help people? It's going to help humanity? And this is the answer. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
So inside of the manila envelope, this was the painting that I found.
Oh,
Let me see right here.
Full screen.
Yeah, there you go. Could you see it right there?
I'm in there.
Yeah, right there.
Yes.
So it's the book. Yes, the book. And it's going all over the world with people grabbing the book, like Jesus coming out of the book, and the Holy Spirit right here. Jesus coming right there. And he said, the love of God is universal and will never end. So as soon as this pass, yes, you can put the screen back again. Yeah, as soon as this passed, it was amazing. It was amazing because it's like, wow, so I need to write this book. And this is what happened next. I go back to my house, I pray, I say, okay, God, I mean, you need to help me to do this. I don't know how this is going to happen, but I just need to write this book. I've been trying for 5 years. And then a friend of mine invited me to a men's group in Atlanta. It's a CEOs that they get united on a room on a very famous museum here in Atlanta. And they just talk about business. So I go to this meeting. And after 2 months going to this meeting, one of the CEOs say, hey, guys, I'm writing a book right now. And I have a program. If somebody wants to join me in the program, and I didn't want to say anything, but one of my friends like, Carlos, you need to write this book. Come on, Carlos, say something. I was like, no, leave me alone. And then he grabbed my hand. He's like, Carlos, want to write this book? I was like, oh, Lord. So the guy said, okay, Carlos, give me your phone number. So I gave him my phone number. And as soon as I gave him my phone number, he started calling me morning, afternoons, all the times like, Carlos, you need to get into the book. I mean, in 3 weeks, the course is going to start. It's a 1-year course at the University of Virginia. And please join the club and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't want to do it. I mean, because I was afraid, because I didn't know how much it's going to cost. And I have a lot of stuff on me right now.
Of course.
At the end, this guy was bothering me too much. I was like, oh my God, leave me alone, because he was calling me all the time. I said, okay, just give me the phone number of the university. I'm going to call and I'm going to get in the program. So I did that. I went, I checked the program. I like it. I pay, I get in. As soon as I get in, this guy disappeared. I never knew anything about him. Nothing, nothing.
Interesting.
And I start doing the book, and that has been amazing because they've been pushing me to do everything. They've been pushing me. When you're writing a book, you have something is called the imposter syndrome. The
Syndrome.
imposter syndrome is like, who are you? Who do you think you are? Do you think you're Shakespeare? Do you think you're a super, writer? You're nobody, you know. So that imposter syndrome is killing you. It happened to
Absolutely.
you?
It's like the ego, the mind, the ego trying to catch up with the heart. Like the identity, your self-identity is like shifting and adjusting to this new paradigm of like, yeah. So
Yeah, it was hard, but they teach you that you're a human being and you can share your story with the world. You know, there is
yeah,
nothing. I mean, some people can take your story, some people don't. But the good thing is like, and that's the most important thing. When you're dying, you don't want to be like, oh my God, should I wrote that book? I should have done that book. I didn't do it, so just do it, and that's it. And everything in life is just doing it. Just do it. Just have the courage to do stuff, like just jump.
yeah,
So that's how
yeah.
I start my book.
Of course. No, that's awesome. Wow, that's such a turnaround as well. That's really amazing. And how do you feel in yourself right now, like with your sense of identity in regards to writing this book and like having it published? Do you see the version of yourself that's got this book published already? Like, can you see him? Like, do you feel him?
Yes, I definitely feel it because, like I said, I've been 5 years on this project, and believe it or not, for 5 years, I've been invited to churches, spiritual retreats, and other spiritual retreats. I've been invited to weddings, to all kind of events to share my story. People now get me to go to hospitals, to hospice, um, to all this. I mean, for 5 years, I've been talking with people face to face, one on one, and people that is dying. And one of my amazing uh, stories that I have is I was talking with a guy that he was dying, and before he died, he grabbed my hands and said, "Like Carlos, I've been waiting all my life to listen this story. Thank you so very much." And
Oh,
that made the world for me, I said, like, damn, this is working, and definitely, and I have so many experience with people that start crying, they start shaking with my story, and I said, I definitely, it's not for me. I don't want people to remind Carlos. I just want to get the message that I get when I had my near-death experience.
wow. Okay. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get on to that. But the next question is, what age were you when you first started to awaken, and how did that play out for you?
Okay, I started to awaken when I was 14 years old. It was by accident. Let me tell you a story a little quick. I was 14 years old. I started feeling really bad. Like I was feeling like I was drunk or something, and I didn't drink anything, just water. I was a kid. And then after the days was passing by, I was feeling worse and worse and worse. And one day I was at the bus stop, and I have a pass out. Everything went black, and I stand up and said, "Okay, I need to tell my parents." I was studying in a Catholic school, and it was very strict. And I said my mom was very strict too. And I said, I don't want to say anything to her, but I'm gonna have to say something. Made the story short, my mom come that night from work and I said, Mom, I have something to tell you. There is something wrong with me. I don't know what it is. We need to go to the doctor. Make the story short, we went to 10 doctors. Nobody wants to say what it was. The last doctor said, you need to see a specialist. That's the best specialist in the city. So we end up in this specialist. He was a hematologist. So he took samples of blood from my fingers, and then he go to the laboratory. He come back and like, I don't believe this. Then he come to my arm, and he took samples from here, and then go back, and he come back like, nope, this is not possible. I said, like, what are you talking about? And then he said, okay, yeah, exactly. I don't know. He was doing tests on me, and then he go back and he said, okay, I need you to go to my room and take your shirts off. I'm gonna put 5 shots in your bag. So he put 5 shots in my bag. So like, what's going on? And then he said, I just put something there. Get lay down on the bed. Wait for 15 minutes for me, and I'll be back. 15 minutes passed. He come with 2 nurses, And then say, okay, look, you're facing the wall. Just take a deep breath. Nothing's gonna happen. Everything's gonna be fine. And then I hear a drill, Zzzz, and then he start drilling my back. And it's like, what? My spine cord in the back. And I feel when the zzz go all the way drilling my back. I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? I said, calm down, Carlos. You cannot move. Everything's fine. So then he finished and he put some alcohol in my back. He dropped some alcohol. He said, okay, it's done. I'll be back in 30 minutes with the sample. I said, okay. I didn't know what he was doing. Then 30 minutes later, he called us back, my mom, my dad, and me. And then he go to the office. He sit down. I say, okay, guys, I have the test right here. So he come with a glass like this, and inside of the glass was like a red cotton floating. And he said, this red cotton here is a sample of the bone marrow. It's called the bone marrow biopsy. And I'm sorry, guys, but I have a bad news. Carlos, you have 3 months to live. And he looked at me. I was like, what? You're talking to me? I said, like, yes. I said, like, 3 months to live. And at that moment, for the first time in my life, I heard inside of myself a voice that said, he don't have the last word. I had. I was like, what? But I didn't want to say anything to my mom because I said, if I say something to my mom, she was going to slap me on my face because my mom was like, And I just keep it to myself, right?
Sure.
Anyways, the doctor said, I'm sorry, you're going to have to take Carlos home. There is nothing to do. He's going to have to die at home. So my mom started screaming, yelling, crying. My dad started crying. It's a horrible scene. I'm in the back, shocked, like, what's going on? And then the doctor said, okay, calm down. Everybody sit down. I have two options. Number one, we can travel to Houston, Texas, and do a bone marrow transplant. If we do that, maybe the new bone marrow can work in Carlos' body and we can resolve this problem. And number two is we can travel to France and get a formula that I'm working with another doctors, and that formula can impact Carlos. Anyways, my mom asked, okay, how much is the first one? And the first one, the doctor said, well, you're going to have to sell your cars, your house, and everything you have to pay for the first surgery. And my mom said, if I get away of everything, will you save my son? And the doctor said, we don't know. It's going to be 50-50. So my mom, I don't like that one. What's the second one? The second one, we go to France and get the formula that I'm working with another doctors and give it to Carlos. I said, okay, I get the second one. So my mom used to work for the Air Force. Her boss going to France, bring the formula, start taking the formula. A month after taking the formula, nothing is working. And then I get tests, exams, and nothing happened. And then my mom said, oh, this is not working. You're going to die. And I said, Mom, this is not going to happen. Anyways, my mom goes to work. I start thinking, what should I do to get healed? And then this came to my mind. I have a uncle that's super rich. And I said, oh, my uncle, he's going to give us the money so we can go to Houston and get the surgery. So I call my mom, Mom, let me call my uncle that's super rich. And my mom, don't even call him. You don't know. He's very mean. I said, I know, Mom, let me call him. She said, nope. I said, no, and that's it. I hang up the phone and I said, wait a minute, this is my life. Nobody's going to tell me what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to die anyways. So what's the odds? I'm just going to call my uncle. So I call my uncle. I say, Uncle, this is Carlos. How you doing? Everything's okay. Look, I have this. I need a surgery. Could you help me with the money? I said, like, Carlos, I'm so sorry. I cannot help you. And he hung up the phone. As soon as he hung up the phone, I said, oh my God, I'm done. This is it for me. My life is gone. So I go on my knees and start praying. I said, like, God, well, this is it. And then a heat start coming all over my body. And I say, wait a minute, this is not it. I'm in a Catholic school and they said there's God, right? And there's heal people and he can help me. So I stand up and say, okay, God, you know what you're going to do with me? You're going to help me and you're going to take all this cancer away from me. My cancer, by the way, was leukemia. And from this moment, I'm completely healed because you are healing me. And guess what? There is a lot of people that don't believe in God or Jesus or anything. What about if you heal me and through my story, more people can believe in you? What about that? And I can tell your story to more people. Anyways, I start saying that. And then 2 days later after that, my sister come home. I have an older sister. She's a school teacher. And she come home with her boyfriend at that time. And the boyfriend said, like, Carlos, I want to help you and I want to give you a book. And you need to read this book on chapter 6. And I said, like, what are you talking about? So he come with a blue book and he put it under my arm. And it's a book. It's called The Magic of the Psychotronic Power. I don't know what this was. It was a metaphysical book. So I started reading the book, and the book started talking about Sai Baba. I don't know if you, yeah.
What age? Point.
14 years old. So I started reading this book about Sai Baba and about how your soul can connect to the universe through meditation, and how you download cosmic energy from the universe. This book was written in 1970, so it was wrote in 1970. So I started reading all this, and when I get to chapter 6, the book said how to heal cancer. I was like, what? So I started reading, and the book said, well, I'm putting in danger my career and other doctors' careers to tell this secret that's being hidden from humanity, and blah, blah, blah. And then on chapter 6 said, all your cells in your body have their consciousness, and they can listen to you. How they can listen to you? Through the palm of your hand. You have the heart chakra right here, and the heart chakra communicate if you put it in any part of your body, and you're going to start telling I love you. And he said any sickness in your body is because it's absence of love. So when you give enough love, you can heal anything. So you put your hands there and you start saying like I love you, forgive me, everything's going to be fine, start healing. And I start doing that for like the next 2 more months. I start praying a lot.
Were you doing every day?
Yes, every day. I'm praying every day. I mean, I didn't have any option. I was about to die, right?
Yeah.
So I put all my faith, and I didn't want to upset any calls. And that's another interesting thing. When the doctor gave me the diagnosis, I said, no, I'm not taking this diagnosis. I'm not going to die. And I try to explain this to people that have cancer so they know, like, when you accept it, it's totally devastating. When you say no, you put a barrier. And
yes. That's the thing. I've had the same thing where I've had all this knowledge. Oh, free, lovely. I've had all this, have all this knowledge of like, like ways of kind of neutralizing cancer. That's the best way to put it. Neutralizing it, like eating, like nutrition, etc. and stuff.
Yes.
And over time, I've like offered this information to people to say, hey, like this is one way of doing it. You can heal your cancer from this, but is people are always going to be on their own path, and it's like certain stuff they'll just, as you say, definitely. I've witnessed that firsthand. So now I kind of take a bit more of a different approach. I've developed myself in that way, so I'll extend people the information, but it's up to them. Then you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
And I don't know if you're seeing Dr. Emoto, the guy who did the experiments with the water, and 90% of your body is water, and when he give love to the water, it transforms. And the same, if we give love to ourselves, the water in 90% of your body is going to transform, and it's going to break whatever you have inside of you. I just got goosebumps right now.
When you that's it. People need to hear this. When you were doing the I love you every day, like the I love you, how did that make you feel on a daily basis? Continued vibrational increase. How did that?
It's so amazing because you feel love. I mean, through my life, I've been through a lot. So when you say I love you, you are saying to your soul, I respect you in the time that you are right now. It's like you're married with yourself, with the betters or worse, in sickness and no sickness, the way that you are, I love you 100%. And that thing is gonna make a chain reaction in your body, and it's gonna liberate you for whatever you got. And let me continue with what happened. So after I do this for 3 months, the doctor called and said, okay, we're going with the final exam. We have to take Carlos to the CT scan. CT scan is a machine like this thing in the back of me that they put your body in. And they start scanning all your body, right?
Yeah.
So they take x-rays for everywhere. So when the CAT scan finished, the CT scans finished, the doctor come back and all the results came blank. So the cancer disappeared. So my mom started jumping like, oh my God, this is a miracle, doctor. This is amazing. And the doctor have like a bulldog face, like, no, this is not amazing. And this is not a miracle. And my mom said, well, what are you saying, doctor? I said, like, this is called remission. Remission is when the cancer disappear and then come back worse. And my mom like, no, doctor, this is not like that. And as soon as the doctor said that, I hear the voice inside of myself saying, this will never happen to you again.
Wow.
I never had the chance to tell that to my mom, but I would
That's the
love
thing.
to.
For you bringing in that much love energy on a daily basis for that
Yes.
extended period of time, you would have probably more than likely melted, dissolved, transmuted the emotion that you were holding on to that
Yeah.
caused the cancer, possibly. So just you didn't even have to consciously think about it. It was all just down to
Well,
the energy.
and the emotion that created cancer was the separation of my parents. So
Mm,
my parents divorced. I was saying every day, I prefer to be dead. I don't want to live with this, like with my mother and my dad separated. I don't want to live anymore. And I was saying that constantly, constantly, constantly. And what I think it happened at that moment is my soul opened and it was vulnerable to anything, like kill me. I'm up, so cancel. But I just from that moment I switched from that to complete love, and the love melted all that on it. You
mm,
know. So, anyways, at the end, I mean, my mom was super happy, my dad super happy, and it never happened to me again. And from that day, what I feel is to help people with cancer. So every person that have cancer in my community, I go and help them, and I talk to them. I go to hospitals, to you name it, and it feels to me amazing to speak with these people and to give hope. And that's what we need to do. Everybody need to give hope and love one to everyone. That's what I think.
yes, absolutely. Beautiful. You're a really good speaker. Really amazing to hear across. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just talking from my heart. So
There we go. What more can you do? What more would you want to do? Okay, so in your book where
yes.
you had your near-death experience, and that was the one you had at 14 years old, is that right? No,
No.
no, I'm in the wrong.
My near the experience happened 5 years ago.
Happened 5 years ago. Okay, so
I will call. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The first one, I will call the first call. My near the experience five
sure.
years ago was second call.
Right.
So because I came here with a purpose, like you do too, and like everybody that is watching too. So we're gonna be called to see if we're gonna wake to what we came to do here.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. No, good. Okay. So I'm going to rephrase this question now. So
Okay.
how did your near-death experience bring you, well, how did your, because you have such a strong connection with dolphins, how did your
Yeah.
near-death experience and your strong connection with dolphins coincide?
Okay. Let me go back to that. So let me tell you a little bit about my near-death experience. I'm gonna try to say it quick. So 5 years ago, I went with some friends all the way to an island. It's called Shell Island in Panama City Beach, here in Florida, in the United States. And I've been going to this island for 10 years. So that day, these friends of mine, that was the first time that they were going, and it was Memorial Day. And Memorial Day here, the beach was packed, full of people. And I said, you know what? Let's go, instead of being on the bay side where everybody is, let's go to the ocean side that nobody's going to be there. So we walked to the base to the ocean side, and there was nobody there. That's the where the big waves come and all that. So we put a camp there, a base camp, and we stayed there from 9 till 4 p.m. Around 4 p.m., my friend said like, "Hey Carlos, we're gonna walk around the island around 4." And I said, "Yeah, guys, you should go quick because the last boat that's gonna take us out of the island is leaving at 5:30." So they left. I was by myself, and I see the water as it was started getting hot, and I said, "You know what? I'm just gonna jump into the water. I'm gonna swim." Just to let you know, when I was a child, I was 5 years on a swimming team, so I know how to swim. I'm not afraid to swim. I love to be in the water. So I jump into the water, start swimming, and out of the sudden, something pulled me under the water, and it was like a twister under the water. It was a riptide current. I didn't know what a riptide current was. And it started pulling me into the ocean, pulling me into the ocean. I started fighting, like, no, leave me alone, leave me alone. And this thing started pulling me until. Have you ever see the movie? It's called Finding Nemo? Nemo, the little fish.
Yes.
Okay, have you ever see the tunnel that take all the fishes under the water?
Yeah.
Yes. So that stream, it was exactly the same. So I went through the tunnel all the way, like half a mile away. Don't ask me. When that tunnel stopped, I went out of the water, and the island was far, far away. I was like, how in the world I get here? And I said, okay, calm down, Carlos, you need to swim. So I start swimming back, swimming back, swimming back, swimming back. But every time that I pulled my head out of the water, guess what? The island was farther and farther. Why? Because I'm still in the middle of the riptide, and the riptide is still pulling me. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do here? Anyways, after 30 minutes, I start getting cramps on my arms, on my legs, everywhere. And I said, you know what? This is it. I'm just gonna say goodbye to the world. I'm gonna die here. Nobody's gonna listen to me. And it's almost 5 p.m. The ocean is getting shocky, big waves, and the sky is turning black, like it's gonna rain, it's stormy. So in that moment, I say, okay, God, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters. Thank you for everything you gave me, and I'm sorry if I did something wrong. As soon as I said that, a voice behind me said, ask for help. And I look behind, I don't see anybody, just the wind blowing. I was like, who said that? And then I tried to swim again, and then I heard again, ask for help. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Is anybody there? Could you help me? And I don't hear anything, just the wind again. And then for the third time, I'm trying to swim, and then like, I told you to ask for help. I was like, oh my God, there is no way in a million years that nobody's gonna rescue me here. Do you see how far we are from the island? There is no way. I say, ask for help. So I started screaming like help. In my mind, there was no way in the whole world that nobody's gonna hear me. But I started screaming, help, help, help. Unbelievable. At the end of the island, one of my friends came out of the group because he felt something was wrong, and he went to a top of a hill, and from that hill he started seeing me, and he started jumping and saying, Carlos, I'm going to call 911, I'm going to call the police, hold on, hold on. That's what he said. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I saw him jumping. So then, to make the story short, he come back with like 6 guys behind them, like 50 people. 6 guys jump into the ocean. Everybody started trying to swim my way, and I was like, thank you, God, they're going to save me. Thank you, thank you. And guess what? 8 to 10 minutes later, everybody started turning around because the ocean is still sucking me more and more and more and more. So I understand, nobody's gonna die because of me. They don't know me, and they don't want to risk their life. And in that moment, I said, you know what, so God, I'm just gonna surrender. And in this, I make a point right here, because surrender. How many times in our life we have problems that we try to fight and fight and fight and fight, and we cannot do it. But it's in the time that when we surrender, is when the miracle happens. And that's what happened to me. I said, I don't want to fight anymore. From this moment, God, you do whatever you want with my life. And in that moment, a huge wave came and crushed me under the ocean. And when I go under the water, I just see water, water, water. And then I see a shadow under me. And the shadows start going in circles. And I said, okay, really a shark? So whatever. So I didn't saw what it was. Then the shadow came under me and lift me up. Guess what the shadow was?
Dolphin.
Exactly. It was a dolphin right here. So the dolphin pushed me all the way to the top. I grabbed the dolphin by the tail, by here. So I didn't know, but if you go to my page that I create for dolphins, the tail is a hand. It's a skeleton of a hand. So you can see it on my page when you go on Facebook. Yeah. So I grabbed the dolphin by the it's supposed to be somewhere all the way down.
Yeah.
That you will find the.
That's fine. I'll just Anyway.
That's my page of the dolphin. Yes, I have a lot of stories there.
Yes, you do. Cool.
So, anyways, I grabbed the dolphin, that I start crying, and I was like, "Oh my God, how this dolphin saved me!" And I look at the dolphin, and he's just looking at me. But he's not moving. He's just floating there for me. So I hang it on there. And then like 10 minutes later, a feature boat is show up in front of me. And the feature boat, the guy is like, hey, son, I can save you, but I cannot get close to you because the waves, they're so big. Mm-hmm. And I say, it's okay, sir. I'm going to throw you a rope. So he throw me a rope. I go to the boat. And as soon as I get to the boat, I just start like, oh my God. And the guy's like, what are you doing? You need to get in now. I said, like, sir, I'm exhausted. I have cramps all over me. I said, you don't understand. I said, what are you talking about? I said, my boat is sinking. I said, your boat is sinking. I said, like, yes, I have a pump inside of the boat, and the pump is stopped. And all the waves, they're getting inside of the boat, and it's completely getting floated. So if you don't hurry up, we're going to die right here. So how can I do that? I mean, how can I get in? Go to the back, and there are some steps to get inside of the boat. So I go to the back, I jump inside of the boat, and I see all the water. It's like, oh my God, sir, do you have a bucket? I said, no, we don't have time for that. Sit down. So I sit down and say, are you okay? Are you fine? I said, yes, sir, I'm fine. Thank you. And then he said, like, where's your family and your friends? Everybody's there in the island, sir. What happened to you? I said, like, something, a current took me all the way here. And then he asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Atlanta. What about you? I said, I'm from Atlanta too. I said, like, what? And we're in Florida, right? I said, like, yeah, what part? And I said, I'm from the east side of Atlanta. I said, like, I'm from there too. I said, like, what? I'm like, oh, there's no way. This is crazy. And then in that moment, the guy's like, oh my God, look behind you, look behind you. I said, what are you talking about? I looked behind me, he grabbed his camera and he started filming behind me. And the dolphin was jumping down, following our boat all the way around the island. And then when we get to the back of the island, the guy said, okay, son, I have to leave you here. I need to fix my boat. Thank you for, wow, for an amazing, I mean, that you're from Atlanta, I'm from Atlanta. This dolphin, this is amazing. If you want to see me again, every Memorial Day, I'm going to be here in this island. You will see my boat. I said, thank you so much, sir. God bless you. And if you need anything, call this number. I work in that company and I do whatever for you, right? So I jump off the boat. I start walking to the shore. And then something hit my leg. And when I look back, the dolphin was behind me. And I start crying like a baby, like, what do you want from me? Why does this dolphin follow me? And then I walking and walking, the dolphin behind me. And then when I get to the shore, I go on my knees, like at a prayer position, and I put my head on the sand. And then I look back and I said, you know what, God, this is it for me. If you save me with this dolphin right here, it's because you have a purpose for my life. I don't know what do you want from me, but I'm going to tell you something. From today, Carlos, dive into the ocean. The person who's coming out of the water is going to be you. From today, is my life is not about Carlos. My life is about you. I want you to come down, take my life, and work through me. It's not going to be my life anymore. It's going to be your life. So from that day, take and do whatever you want with me. And that day, my life changed forever. What happened next is transform everything. So the police arrived, the management from the park arrived. I have to sign police reports, speak with the management. Then my friends arrived, more people from the island. Everybody started hugging me and crying. And then they asked me like, where do you want to go now? I said, like, could you take me to a church? Because I think this is a miracle. So they took me to a Catholic church nearby. And then when we get there, the church was closed. It was like, I don't know, 7 p.m. I don't know how time was flying. And then we did a circle with everybody that came from the beach, and we start praying. And after we pray, everybody, what do you want to do, Carlos, now? I said, I want to go back to the hotel that is staying on the beach and take a shower, get something to eat, and go to sleep. And I did that. And as soon as I go to sleep, I have this dream. So in this dream, I open my eyes and I grabbing a handrail on the third floor of a cruise line in the ocean. So this cruise line was going into the Caribbean. So I'm in the middle of the ocean. It's like 12 noon, blue skies, blue ocean. And then at the end of the ocean, a tsunami was rising. You know what's a tsunami? A huge wave coming. And I was like, what? A tsunami now? So I covered my eyes like, oh my God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. 5, 10, 15 minutes passed. Nothing happened. I was like, oh my God, what's going on with the tsunami? And somebody come behind me and said, like, Carlos, why you don't want to open your eyes, please? Open your eyes. And I said, like, I don't want to open my eyes. And he asked me, like, why? Because I'm afraid. I said, he asked me, afraid of what? Afraid to die. I said, look at me. You're never going to die with me. I said, like, who are you? So I look back, and as soon as I look back, I see this guy is like 6'5" tall with a white robe and a lot of light behind him. I said, close your eyes, Carlos. I was afraid. I just closed my eyes. He hugged me from the back. And then he said, I want you to stay quiet for 10 seconds. So 10 seconds passed. Open your eyes. So I opened my eyes. He opened his arms. And as soon as he opened his arms, I'm in heaven. So I'm in heaven. There's millions of people in front of me dressed in white robes. And I was like, oh my God. When I realized that I'm in heaven, so that means I'm dead. So no, I need to go back. And I look back, and you're Jesus, like, what? Jesus, take me back because I cannot die right now, please, and blah, blah, blah. And Jesus said, like, Carlos, I'm sorry, but you asked for this. You're not dead right now. But I want you to listen what I'm going to say. From today, you're part of me. From today, you're part of my group. From today, you're going to start walking with me and with everybody else. And I said, okay, do you have any questions? I said, yes, Jesus, where all these people come from? And he said, they come from all over the world. What religions are there? And they said, Carlos, in heaven, you don't want to find religion. What you're going to find in heaven is going to be love. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and that's what is going to unite humanity. And then he puts his hand over me. More stuff happened, that's on the book, but then I wake up. As soon as I wake up, I thought, oh, this was a dream. I was in a dream. This is what happened next. Next morning, we come back to Atlanta with my friends. I told this story. On Monday, I go to my job. I've been working 15 years there. And then I tell the story to everybody in my office. Everybody start like, oh my God, yeah, Carlos, whatever. Yeah, Dolphin saved you. I said, you guys don't believe me. And then behind me, I have my boss and say, I believe you. And I look back like, why you believe me and they don't believe me? I said, all of them, they're atheists. I'm a Christian. Number two, I want you to Google right now on your computer how many dolphins save people around the world through millennials. And I was like, what? So I Google and yeah, dolphins been saving people from thousands of years ago in the ocean. And then he said, now Google how many people die in Florida because riptide currents. So I Googled 57 people die every year in average for riptide currents. And then he said, now Google what the dolphin means for Christians. I was like, what? So I Googled dolphin means for Christian. Guess what dolphin means for Christian? You can Google it right now.
Savior.
Look, I'm going to grab my phone, and this is not ready. Look. I'm going to tell Google right here. Let me see. What dolphin means for Christians?
According to Shop LC, the dolphin represents Jesus. It acts as an analog for his crucifixion upon the cross. In this way, for Christians, Jesus Christ is the anchor of their faith.
Anyways, in another books, I start looking back in history. I discover and tries thousands of years ago in Italy, they have a lot of monuments with dolphins in it. So dolphins were messengers from God all the way to heaven that take messages from earth to heaven. And they're all over history. Anyways, after I see all this, it's like, wow, I didn't know all of this about dolphins, you know? And then I discover more information that they've been saving a lot of people all over the world. So that happened on Monday. On Thursday, I go to a best friend house and I try to do it quick. I'm about to finish. And I tell this story. And he's like, Carlos, you need to come on Sunday. We're going to a church. You need to tell. It's like, dude, I don't want to go to church. I'm like, please, like, I don't want to tell this story to a lot of people. Who's going to believe me, you know? I was like, Carlos, you need to do it. Anyways, Sunday arrived. I go to his house. I say, what church would you go? I said, I don't know. Just Google whatever Catholic church in your phone. So he Googled a church and it comes. The only Catholic church next by his house is called San Michael the Archangel. I said, okay, you've been in that church? I'm like, no, never. So we drove to this church. And when we arrived to the parking lot, there were hundreds of cars. Everybody was jumping and celebrating. I was like, what's going on here? So we asked a lady next to us, what's happening? It's like, well, this used to be a little chapel, but today they're being over construction, a huge cathedral. And today's the inauguration of the cathedral. And you guys get on time to see the whole inauguration. So like, wow. So we see the inauguration. One of my friends speak with the priest and said, look, I have a friend that he have a testimony. Can he say it? So yeah, at the end, he can go to the stage. So the time arrived that I go to the stage. It was first time in my life, 500 people there. I was shaking. I was horrified to tell this story. And then I start telling my story, what happened. And in the middle of the story, 17 years old girl, she raised her hands, excuse me. I was like, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt your story, but I have a question. I said, like, yes, what's up? I said, how Jesus was with you? I said, like, he was behind me. What he was dressing? I said, he was dressing a white robe. And she said, white robe? I said, yes. Where you were? I was in front of him. What Jesus was doing? He was hugging me from the back. Why? And she said, I have to show you something. And this is what she showed me. She grabbed her hair. She put the hair in front of her. And in the back of the church, you have a printing on the back. It's a church that is already printed with an image of Jesus hugging a guy. And then everybody at church was like, what? Are you kidding me? You guys planned this? I was like, no, I guess this is a casualty, you know? I mean, I don't know. This is like synchronicity for me. And this is, I don't know if you can see it. Could you see it? This is the image.
Just a minute.
Yes. So this is the image of Jesus holding a guy. Well, guess what? I get home and I Googled this image. I said, Jesus hugging a guy. And this image come with a story. And the story is that in 1992, African-American painter called Thomas Blackshear, he started doing fasting. You know what's fasting?
Yes.
Drinking water, praying.
Water fasting.
Yes. So he's, oh, you're fasting. So he started doing this for weeks. And after weeks, he asked God, he's like, let me paint something that people know that you are with them, they're not alone. So he started getting inspired. He started doing the painting. When he going in the middle of the painting, he said the Holy Spirit came down and he said, like, now, Thomas, you need to write a book because people need to understand the meaning of that painting. So he started writing the book. And guess what's the name of the book?
A Dolphin Miracle?
No. No, the name of the book is Forgiveness. And that's
Oh,
how
okay.
my story ends. More than 98% of people around the world have childhood trauma. And people, we need to forgive. Number one, we need to forgive our parents. Why? Because it doesn't matter when you was a child, what happened. They were your parents and they did everything they could to give you everything you have. Number two, we need to forgive ourselves, our inner child. That little baby inside of you that every day is screaming, help me, help me, help me. And we bury that kid inside of us. Well, you need to give it a hand to that kid and give it a hug and said, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be all right. I'm going to give you love and you're protected, you know? And I leave you, I liberate you and you don't want to be there anymore. And number three, we need to forgive all the people that harmed us through our life, all the people that we have confrontations and problems. We need to forgive that. Why? Simple. When we forgive our parents, our inner child, and other people that harm us in our lives, we let it go, all the hate, all the resentment, and all that poison that become cancer and become other sickness in your body. You know, every resentment that you have in your body, it becomes a sickness in your body. That's what I've been studying all my life, in reading books and all that. So you need to be free from all that. And when you free all that, you open your heart, and from that moment, you start living the life that you deserve. From that moment, you open your heart to live your purpose, because everybody that's watching here and you, we have a purpose. And one of the biggest purpose that I think everybody have in this life is service. Why is service? Look, Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Look, Mahatma Gandhi. Look at Nelson Mandela. What they did was service. Why? When you die, when I was dying, the book of life is going to open and you will see your life flashing in front of you. And guess what the life is going to show you? They're not going to show you, oh, Zach, you live in an amazing mansion and you have an amazing car and you have a huge bank account. Because guess what? You don't want to take anything of that. You don't want to take that you're a doctor and you're this or you're that. You're just a human being, you know? But what the book of life is going to take from you, guess what it was? Zach, how many people you help? How many people you failed on the street? How many people you give shelter, Zach? How much love you give? What is your legacy? What you left behind, Zach? So, and everybody that is watching right now is like, what are you doing for others? And I'm going to leave the question right there. If you want to do something, just give love to your neighbors. Another powerful thing that I have is try to do this today. Make a call to somebody that they don't know that they changed your life, but they did something that completely changed your life, and give thank you. Maybe you have 5 years, 10 years without talking with this person, but you'll say like, dude, thank you so very much, because that idea that you gave me or that hug, it saved my life. It changed my life. It transformed my life. Even if your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, that you have 5 years, 10 years without talking to them, you know what? I forgive you. Let's pass the page and start over. I love you, and let me start from this point. So that's the way that I become until today. I've been forgiving people. I've been opening my heart to people, and I've been helping, doing a lot of healing in his hospitals, and that's the person that I am today. So, you like the story? Tan tan.
Beautiful, excellent. Oh wow, yeah, that's just amazing. Absolutely, and being in service as well, and you're feeling that, like especially after that time 5 years ago where you had that near-death experience and how that opened things up for you, and what's progressed since. Oh, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing all of that, and the dolphin story as well, where you got caught in that riptide, and then it's like that moment when the guy's like jumping on the hilltop, and like then he knows, and it's like, right, just surrender. Everything is going to be fine, and the dolphin coming up and saving you like that, just beautiful. Yeah, it's they. Did you know well, they have the same souls as we do.
The dolphins? No, I didn't know, but I that's what I opened my page, my Facebook page that you put right there, a Dolphin Miracle with Carlos Vivas, and I want everybody to join that page so you know how the dolphins work in this world, how they're angels for us, and I put a lot of information there, how they live, where they reproduce, how you can help them, because that time was me. Next time, maybe it's gonna be you. You don't know, or a loved one that's gonna happen for the same thing. And believe it or not, listen what happened. Last week, I went to the doctor to do some treatment on one of my tooth, and the hygienist, she was checking my mouth, and then she started talking to me, and then I get to the point that look, I need to finish this because I need to write a chapter for my book. I said, "You're writing a book?" So yes. And what is the book about? Well, it's about a dolphin that saved me on the ocean. And she's like, "No way." I said, yes, why? And she said, you don't want to believe me, but my mom had the same experience. She was dying in the ocean with my two brothers, and a dolphin saved them. If it wasn't for that dolphin, I didn't have my mother here. So I'm gonna get in contact with that lady, the hygienist, see if I can put her story on my book too, so I can tell the story of what happened to her mother and how they get there.
That's cool. Good. Another addition to it as well. A bit more experience to share. That's wonderful, and you're doing amazing things. It's really good how you're wanting to help so many people and be a hand of God, as it is said. So anyway, right, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. I'd just like to say to everyone watching, just to say that your book is going to be called, when it's finished, A Dolphin Miracle with Carlos Vivas.
Yes, the publisher is working on the name right now because they have like 3 different names. Another name that we're having in there is called Help from Heaven. So we're working on the names right now because it was a help that came from heaven that helped me. And what I'm going to talk on the book too is I didn't want to accept what happened to me. So after the dolphin story, I continued with my regular life. I started working 9 to 5 and an office and all that. And I said, you know what, God, I don't think, maybe this was my imagination. I need to pay bills. I need to work. And so I come back to my life. And guess what? He pulled me and said, hey, wait a minute. You did it. So, like you promised me you're going to do this book.
Sure.
And what happened next, and that is my book about, is from this, the dolphin story is the beginning of my journey. So the dolphin is going to take you to a journey of miracles. I start having miracles every day, every day. I was like, oh my God. And even in front of people, and people started scaring, like, oh my God, Carl, everything was beautiful.
Yeah.
But all those miracles were happening to me for me to understand that I need to write the book. I need to pass it along, And yes, my book is about dolphin story, my cancer story. That is, you have more stuff on it. And at the end of my book, I'm going to give you recommendations for your life, what I learned along the way from my 14 years old when I opened Awakening until now, what it helped me, and it can help you in your life, So it's like I said to everybody, life is like a spider web. And I put that on my book. A spider web that since you're born, you get disconnected from the placenta, and that spider web get broke there, right? But the spider web start working in every event of your life is a dot. And then a lot of stuff happened in your life, and you don't know what this happened and that happened and this happened. But every dot at the end of your life is going to be connecting. Oh, that happened because if this didn't happen, this didn't happen, and this didn't happen. And that's how it became who I am today, because all these dots get along together. So it's like a circle of life. Get together.
That's all the dots. Like a spider web, I like that. A web is good. It's better than a net. Well, that's kind of the same thing. Anyway, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And continue. I wish for you every bit of aligned success in your sharing of love, as you are and as you will continue to do. And may those miracles continue for you as you continue to bring in more love energy into yourself, and let's radiate it out across the rest of the world. So yeah,
I just want to let you know something. I'm just a regular guy like you and like anybody that is watching there. I'm not a special thing or nothing. I mean, you can access all this if you open your heart, if you pray, if you meditate, if you ask God. Because I'm talking with people that is disconnected. It's like, oh, I tried to pray, I tried to meditate, nothing happened to you. To me, I want to live the experience that you have. Like, dude, just open your heart. Like, really mean it from the bottom of your heart, and the universe will respond to you if you're real. If you're real, they're gonna feel, and that vibration is gonna get to the universe, and the universe is gonna go back to you. How the Bible said, ask and you should receive. So just open your mouth and ask for whatever you want in your life.
Yeah,
it will come to you.
That's really good advice as well. It's like I feel that so many people, when they first start out meditating, for example, they'll kind of they'll stay in their mind and not really feel what they're feeling, and like focus on the rest of their body. It will be very much up here. So really good advice on that one. So yeah, feel the love, manifest the feeling of it as well.
Yes.
If you can. That's if you create how you want to feel, that's the way of the times. So brilliant. Right, okay. Yeah, thank you so much for this interview today. I think that's it for now. Actually, I will just say one thing, one last question here. So if you could do anything in the next 6 months and it was 100% guaranteed it would happen and money was no issue, what would that thing be?
Could you repeat the question again? If I could do something?
If you could do anything in the next 6 months and it was 100% guaranteed it would happen and money was no issue, what would that thing be?
Well, what it come out of my mind right now, I would love to have an airplane and travel all over the world and stop that airplane in every city, get out of the airplane and invite everybody to a huge lunch with a huge long table, wide table, and hug everybody before the lunch and say, everything's going to be all right. We're all in this together and we're going to get out of this together. Trust what is coming for us. Earth is changing, and love one to another, and just open your heart. That I would love just to travel all over the world and hug people everywhere and transmit my love to them, because love is an energy that you have in your chest, and you can project that with the vibration that you're doing, and when you hug somebody, your chemicals are working in their bodies. I mean, everything is connected and you can share. And one person that I learned from love to hug was Amma. I don't know if you know who's Amma, the hugger from India. He's a spiritual leader in India that she came on Atlanta on my birthday. She's been 3 times on my birthday here in Atlanta. And the last time that she came, I didn't know who she was. The first time, a friend took me there because it was my birthday. That was my gift for my birthday. I went to the stage. 10,000 people went to see this lady. Everybody was saying that she was like Mother Teresa. So I go into the stage. She hugged me, and I could feel the love, and I could feel that she transmit all that to me. And believe it or not, when I get out of the stage, it was 2 a.m. in the morning, and she stayed like 24 hours hugging people nonstop. And she has hugged 35 million people around the world. Wow. So, yeah, she's amazing. And as soon as I get out of the place that she was presenting herself, 2 a.m. in the morning, from the sky, and you can Google it, that was June 29, 2015. You can look on NASA at what happened in Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, and Florida at 2 a.m. in the morning, between 1:30 and 2 a.m. in the morning. As soon as I get out of that room, that I go to my car with some friends, in the sky, 7 meteors, the meteors, the balls of fire, they cross the sky on the top of the place that she was presenting. It was a convention center. Oh, wow. And they traveled through 4 states, illuminating everything. When we saw this, we thought it was an airplane that exploded in the air because it was fire all over the sky. Next day, when we Google it, NASA said that it was garbage from the space that entered into the atmosphere and it was burning. But no, my friends are like, it wasn't garbage. We saw what we saw. And you can Google it and you can see videos from every news in the United States, and it's still on YouTube, that you can look. What happened on June 29? And I feel the love that she gave to 10,000 people in that place create all this emotion and all this vibration that call the universe, and I think that happened. So it's amazing what love do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good. That's amazing experience. It's amazing experiences. Absolutely. No, brilliant stuff.
Thank
Okay,
you.
well, brilliant. Thank you so much for today, Carlos. It was a really good interview. And yeah, best wishes on your journey. And much love to you and family. And yeah, and same goes to everyone else as well watching and also on the replay. Much love to you all. And thank you for tuning in and joining us here today. And yeah, again, if anyone is interested in reading more about Carlos's journey or Carlos's book that he's currently offering, he has a Facebook group called A Dolphin Miracle with Carlos Vivas, author.
Album, yes. My book is going to be ready in August. My publisher have it ready in the second week in August, but I'm working on it.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Thank you.
There we go. So there we go. Excellent. All right then. So I wish you all the best and take care and much love to you and have a great rest of your day and week.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. God bless you, and all my heart for you. From my heart to all of you. Much love. Blessings for everybody.
Blessings. Bye all. Bye.
Bye.